Good morning, good morning. Come on in and let me know if you're around. I am just checking the page to make sure, via phone, to make sure that I'm live in the right place. Bear with me. It says we are live. There we go. Wonderful. We don't need two of me, do we? We don't need me in steroids? Stereo. Anyway, so this morning, come along, do come along. I am going to be recording this. The replays are going to be on the thing on this page every day. But whilst we get started, I just want to let those of you know who are watching on replay that these videos will just be on the page as we go through the week. So you won't miss them. I'm going to pin them to the top of the page every day to make it easy for you to find. So roll up, roll up. Who else is there? Anybody? So let me see if I can share this just while we're getting going. Anybody there? Come on in and let me know where you're joining me from. If you're joining me on the live, I would love to know where you're joining me from. Likewise, if you are on the replay, drop me a little hashtag replay. Let me know that you caught this and what you think. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. So welcome to day one of the Mind Body series. Now, this is just a very short series to help people understand what EFT is. So I'm going to cover 5 different topics this week. And today, so in total, those topics are going to be what EFT is and is not. It's really important to understand what it's not, because there's a lot of fake information out there that will give things a bad name. If you go on Wikipedia, for example, there's not a great write-up, but bear in mind it's not written by scientists, it's written for free by people who don't understand the subject. So today we're going to go through what EFT is and what it's not. Tomorrow we're going to go through somatic healing. These are not going to be long videos, 10 minutes hopefully. Wednesday we're going to go through 5 types of trauma so that you can recognize whether you're carrying anything, because trauma isn't necessarily always what we think it is. And it's really important to know what constitutes trauma, because we can all be walking around with it stuck in our bodies. And it's great because then we can learn to release it, right? On Thursday, we're going to talk about the mind-body connection. And on Friday, I'm going to tell you all about my resistance remedy. And if you are there on Friday on the live, you can grab access to my resistance remedy guide, which will show you the origins of many different types of resistance, because it comes from all different sources, and you need to know where it comes from in order to kind of get around it, if you like. And that's really important for yourself if you're doing self-healing work, self-development work, and if you are a therapeutic professional like a coach, a healer, a wellness professional, a therapist, a mental health practitioner, you need to know this stuff. So let's get started on day one. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what EFT is and what it's not. Let's start with what it's not, okay? Because like anything that's relatively new in the healing and wellness space, if you don't look at the right resources, the right origin of information, you can be absolutely bamboozled with rubbish. It is not pseudoscience, okay? There's over 100 studies that demonstrate its efficacy to date. It's only 40, maybe 50 years old as a modality, and it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it works, and it is rooted in neuroscience and biochemistry, right? So there is an energetics part of it, but it's very, very practical. It's very grounded. It's rooted in science. Okay, that's the first thing to bear in mind. The second thing is it's not quackery. You'll hear a few people say that, oh, it's woo-woo, it's left field, it's just placebo, it's distraction. No. And I'm going to tell you why it's not. If you've never heard this might just blow your mind. But EFT is based on the same meridian system and energy flow system that acupuncture and acupressure have used for thousands of years. Acupuncture in its earliest form was actually around over 5,000 years ago. How do we know? We know because of an Iceman called Ötzi. Now, there was a guy called Ötzi. They nicknamed him Ötzi because he was found in the Ötz Valley, Alps, which is on the Italy, Italy-Austria border, sorry. So Ötzi was a European, Tyrolean Iceman, if you like, who died and was buried underneath an alpine glacier, however you say it, along the Austrian-Italian border around 3250 BC. Now, they know this because when they found him, he was so well preserved, he even had remnants of food, his last meal in his belly. He was still clothed and all the rest of it. But what's really super important for this is that Ötzi had 61 tattoos across his body, including his left wrist, lower legs, lower back, and torso. Now, what we know about Ötzi was that he was a high altitude shepherd and he walked for miles and miles. So these tattoos were found on parts of his body that showed evidence of a lifetime of wear and tear. The ankles, the wrists, the knees, the Achilles tendon, and the lower back, all symptoms of walking miles and miles, right? And it's thought that Ötzi's tattoos were therapeutic, not decorative or symbolic, because of where they were. They also found an awl, AWL, that was found on his person in a little leather pouch, which is like a pointed carved wooden implement, thought to have been used on the tattoo points, much like we do with acupuncture needles or finger or elbow pressure if you're talking EFT or acupressure, right? When Ötzi was first studied, archaeologists were really shocked because they'd never before seen a Copper Age tattoo person with them, and because acupuncture is a treatment for joint disease, for stress on joints, rheumatism and arthritis, it was thought to have originated in Asia more than 2,000 years later. So it may well have even predated our high altitude shepherd friend. It may have gone back even to further than 3250 BC, but the evidence is clear. It is thousands of years old. And it has been used alongside herbal remedies and all sorts of other things to relieve pain, to relieve discomfort and wear and tear on the body. Goodness knows what else they used it for, but we have empirical evidence, right? So that flies in the face of all the scientists who go, oh, it's woo-woo, it's distraction. No, it's not. So the foundation of EFT and acupuncture and acupressure dates back thousands of years. Way further back, it's important to say, than Western medicine. Now, I'm not slating Western medicine. I think the two can coexist, but it's really important that we have a solid self-belief as EFT and alternative health practitioners, because I believe that we are returning to a more holistic way these days. And I'm really grateful that we have this information at our fingertips because it's proven. The guy was preserved in ice, right? You can't get around it. So have confidence if you're talking about EFT to people that it is, and acupuncture and acupressure, that it is absolutely real and it works. Okay, so we've said what EFT is not. Here's what it is. It's a mind-body healing modality, right? It's non-invasive, which is amazing. It helps the body come back into balance and self-heal. Excuse me. It reduces the stress response, including levels of cortisol and adrenaline. It releases calming hormones to help you feel calm, safe, secure in the moment. It calms and slows the brain waves as well. So when you're in like panicked thinking or whatever, you can be up here in what we call beta thinking. So faster cycling thoughts. The higher that goes, the higher the frequency goes, the more likely you are to be feeling anxious. Now, as you tap and you reduce the cortisol and adrenaline, you also slow down the brainwaves and you come back into what we call relaxed alpha, which is relaxed awareness, where you're sort of sat looking out the window type feeling, right? Now, when that happens, it re-engages the prefrontal cortex. Now, this thing here is what I call the thinky mind, right? So this is the stuff that makes decisions, it gets creative, it finds solutions, it can access intuition, it's resourceful, and it can act quick because it's clear, it's online, it's engaged, it's ready. When you're in a stress response and you're full of cortisol and adrenaline and your mind is up in beta and you're panicking, this goes offline because it's not needed to run away from the bear or whatever it was that was chasing you, right? Or whatever you think was coming towards you, because it doesn't have to be real. So when you calm everything down, this can come back online again. So you can make decisions again a lot faster. You can be resourceful, creative, intuitive, all of those good things that you need. But it's not just that. EFT improves your immune function by over 60%. It reduces the chance of Alzheimer's by washing away the plaque that builds up around brain cells. I know, right? It's incredible. It improves your happiness and resilience levels. I have stats to back this up from, over, as we said, over 100 different studies that have been done. It levels out your blood pressure and reduces the chance of heart disease. It improves your relaxation response. Excuse me, because it calms the vagus nerve in times of stress, and eventually you retrain your body and your nervous system to get less stressed less quickly and recover faster, right? It rewires neural pathways to create new ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving. And it helps you to process trauma, stress, fear, anticipatory fear somatically, i.e., in the body, and therefore with minimal re traumatization when done correctly. So, in my opinion, it really is the missing piece in health, in personal development work, because it helps you process and release connected trauma in, like when you're trying to move forward, or memories that keep flashing up. Like, for example, if you have a fear of public speaking, it may well be because something happened at school and you were embarrassed and you don't ever want to feel that way again. Now, it might feel like that is something that's too tiny to still cause you a problem, but trust me, it can, right? So, yeah. So if we're trying to move forward and we're trying to get traction, we're trying to increase performance in an area even, or we're trying to solve trauma, the brain doesn't know the difference between fiction and reality, right? So if you're having or doing with clients talk therapy and you're not including a somatic healing modality as part of your sessions, i.e., dropping into the body, and we'll go into more of this tomorrow, then you're missing an opportunity to heal. Because if you're just talking about stuff, the brain doesn't know that it's not happening right this second. It goes back into a stress response. It further amplifies that neural pathway that's linked to that feeling and thought. We overanalyze how we feel about it. It creates a shitstorm and we get trapped in it again, or we can do. Now, there are other things, as a caveat that can help that, like EMDR and to a point, things like breath work and things like that. But sometimes, I don't mean EMDR included in this, but sometimes some healing modalities can be a bit of a sticking plaster because they don't actually help to rewire the neural pathway to dissolve the one that keeps causing the trigger when you think about the thing. So if you're talking about the thing and you're not soothing the stress response that happens because of the thoughts about the thing, then you're missing a trick. You're missing an opportunity to heal, right? And that's where EFT comes in. It's so powerful. I can't even tell you the changes it's made in my life and the life of my clients and my students. And so tomorrow, I'm going to be talking all about somatic healing, what you need to know, and how to bring it into your sessions with your clients or into your self-healing ritual. And I can't wait to hear back from you. These are just going to be bite-sized videos. Please drop any comments and any thoughts in the comments, any questions, and I will come back to you. But for now, I hope that was interesting. I hope that was helpful about what EFT is and what it's not. And I'll see you again tomorrow in the Mind Body Wisdom series. Bye for now.